Hello guys, welcome back for another video from TDL DIY. So today we're going to be looking at getting our lawnmower ready for the season. So there's a couple things that we're going to do. We're going to check our spark plug, change our oil. Even though I pre-checked the oil already and the color looks pretty good, it is recommended by the manufacturer to do it once a year. So after every season, or 20 or 30 hours, something like that. I'd have to double check, but you know, after a certain amount of time. So, and we got to check our air filter, which is just right over here. So those are the things that we're going to go over today. Even though my oil looks good, I'm going to change it for the sake of this video and so you guys know how to do it. Now there's two different ways that lawnmowers can change the oil. One, it's the exact same way you fill your oil. You have to pump it out of there. Or in some cases, there's a little nut on the bottom, and basically that's your drain bolt. In this case, on this particular lawnmower, we don't have that option to just drain the oil from underneath, so we're gonna have to pump it out, unfortunately. Yeah, so I'm gonna show you all the tools that we're probably gonna need, and we'll get into it. This should be a quick video, doesn't take that long, maybe 10 minutes maybe, and this whole process will be done and over with. Alright guys, so we got a couple things. So we have air filters, and I got these 5-pack on Amazon, and I want to say it was 25 or 20, maybe 20 bucks. I'll look at it, maybe it was $30, but it was significantly cheaper than going locally and buying air filters. So I will go and try and find that and see how much I paid for it. Lawnmower, or correction, spark plug. I just got it at my local Canadian Tire. You can go to any probably auto parts store that will have spark plugs, and I'm sure they'll have something for you. I always keep a spare one on hand in case my plug looks bad, so I can change it right away and I don't have to go to the store. So if I use this one, I'll go and buy another one, so I have another one on hand. Same with the air filters, and hence I have 5. Probably last me about 5 years or longer. We have a spark plug socket. In this case, what size is it? 13/16. A flathead screwdriver, new oil. We're using ASE 10W30 and some type of, in this case, some type of pump to be able to extract that oil. And then I just have a container over here, just an empty container to put the oil into. Alright, so it's just a flathead screwdriver. Now not every lawnmower is going to be in the same spot, or some of them just have a clip that you just pull down. Some will have, most of them have screws or some type of bolt to hold everything in. Okay, so this is our air filter. As you can see, it's got a bit of oil on it. It's a little bit dirty. All in all, it's not too bad. If your oil filter looked like this and you didn't have one, I would say you could probably still run it. But if you have another one, or you're able to get another one fairly quickly, in this case I'm going to change it out just to show you guys. So it's a good idea. So this is the original Briggs & Stratton filter on mine. Focus. Oh. And I think it has a part number there. Yep. So the part number is 491588S. But keep in mind, if you're using original manufacturer parts, they might be a little bit more expensive. But that's how you find your part number. And this is my new one. That's probably a Chinese made, you know, cheap, but also looks the exact same. Just make sure your filter looks the same as your other one. So no real difference. We're going to put it back in the same way you took it out. Okay, that's it. Air filter's done. We'll move around to the spark plug and get that changed and looked at, or at least looked at. Alright, so now we're going to be looking at the spark plug. It's right here. So just pull that off. broke it free. You can do it by hand. So I've already changed mine before, so it's not the original plug. This one is an E3, E3.10. But just look at it, and actually it looks pretty good. If you want, I could probably clean this up with just a little wire brush. So a little wire brush. All we're gonna do, in this case, we're using brass, don't use steel. And you can just kind of do one of these things, just around, on top. Just be careful not to hit the electrode too much. Actually looks really good. There's nothing really bad about it. It's no burn marks or nothing. Got a little bit of black right there from carbon, but all in all looks good. So we're gonna keep this one in. So we'll just replace it. Now spark plugs don't have to be changed every year. Spark plugs could probably go several years before getting changed, but if you're having issues with starting or mostly starting or staying run, I would check your spark plug to make sure that there's nothing wrong with it. Basically, if you have excessive white or really black, if it's white, it's burning too lean, so it's getting very hot. Lean is probably how much fuel is going in, so that's what it means by lean. And if it's really black, it's burning too rich, essentially. I also have a little bit of dielectric grease. I like to do this, put a little bit on the tip or like inside the electrode, but let's just put just a little bit on the tip there. Doesn't need to be a lot. That does a couple things. One, it creates a better electrical connection, and two, it prevents any water or anything from getting inside for whatever reason. I know this is a lawnmower and it probably shouldn't be cutting in the rain or anything, but it helps prevent any corrosion and stuff like that as well. So last part, that's good to go. We're gonna be doing an oil change, so we'll just spin this guy around. I should have a couple rags or paper towel or something. Look at it. Come on, focus. Anyways, it's very clear. It looks really good. We have our min and max lines. Everything looked good, but I'm going to change the oil out because based on the manufacturer's recommendations, that's what it wishes me to do. And sometimes I've even looked at it, guys, before, and it looked fairly good, but when I pumped it out, it was actually a lot darker than what it appeared on the stick. So just keep that in mind as well. Pump is very basic. One side goes inside, and then the other side goes into a bucket or something. I'm not sponsored by Pennzoil or anything, just something I had around. So all we're gonna do is pump. There's different pumps you guys can get. So as you can see, it's coming out. It's a little bit darker than what it probably went in as. So it's good to get this changed out. So this should be about roughly half a liter. So this can take some time. I'll probably speed this up so you guys don't have to watch me pumping for like 5 minutes. But okay, so I think we got all of it. I had my wife just tip it up a little bit to get a little extra, tip it towards me so that all the oil would drain out. So I think we're good. We probably add a couple 100 mils out of there. So we're gonna fill up roughly that amount. We're gonna check our oil and then top up until it's full. Yeah, so my bottle's not full, so it makes it a little bit easier for me to pour it in. And I still might dribble a little bit, but. As you can see, that is a much cleaner fluid than came out. When I looked on the dipstick, it looked almost brand new, but when I was pumping it out, it was significantly a lot dirtier than the brand new stuff. So it is very much advised, especially by the manufacturer, to do an oil change once a year. I like to do it just before my season, the start of my season. So I put about 150 mils in there. I'm just gonna check it. Sure it sits seated all the way. There we go. Still needs to come down a bit. Hopefully we're getting there. Yep. Come on. So we're about halfway, I'd say 3/4 of the way up. So I'm just gonna put a little drizzle in and we should be good at that point. Because right now it's already in a safe operating range for the oil. And I always like to have my oils on the full side versus the middle or on the low side. That way if something happens, it burns a little bit of oil, it kind of gives me a little extra wiggle room. But I know this one doesn't burn any oil, so. So from where we started, we put about 375 milliliters, give or take, and we're gonna call this good. Okay, so now we're gonna get this off. I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna start it up. On this one, we don't have a priming bulb, whereas on a lot of other makes and models, I'm not sure if any of the newer ones do or not, but this particular one does not have a priming bulb. So when you see me go to start it, it has not been primed because there's no way for me to actually prime it. If you have a lawnmower that does have a priming bulb, it's usually a little red bulb that you can press, it says 3 times on the side. Typically, you have to prime it a little bit more than 3 times. Usually do the ballpark of 5 to 6 and then give it a start. So we're gonna get this down, gonna try to start it up. It should start up. Usually this guy's pretty good. 1, maybe 3 pulls and it'll start up right away. So let's get this started, prove that all of this maintenance actually still makes this thing run, and then we'll wrap it up. All right, so we're gonna try. Hopefully it takes less than three pulls to get this started. All right guys, so as you can see there, probably took 5 or 6 pulls to get us started. This is the first time it started this season, and it's not even grass mowing season yet. So it's still fairly early. We're still in early April. It started 5, 6 pulls. I think that's pretty good. So right after that, I turned it off and then started it one more time. First pull, and that's typically how we see it throughout the season. It takes 1 or 2 pulls. It's been a very good machine. And if you keep up with the maintenance, stays working pretty good. So if you like this kind of stuff, guys, and this helped you out to get your lawnmower ready for the season and a quick tune-up, then feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget, you can leave a comment down below. Let me know if there's anything else that I could have done better, or maybe you guys have a different mower and different experiences. I'd like to hear about them. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and don't forget, never stop learning.